Welcome back, cousins. It's old Rusty here. I'm at the warehouse, and this video is packed full. Folks, do you like to see items that have more value than you would have thought of? Do you like to learn about things that maybe you could look for the next time you're out, or that maybe you have that have value? It's around Christmas time right now. Lots of people are needing some extra cash. This video is for you. We're going to talk about the stuff that we're selling right now. We're going to go through some stuff that we're researching and getting ready to list. We're going to give you some tips. We're going to play a game called This or That, and it's basically a game where you try to guess what has more value. And then at the end, if you stick around, I'm going to give you some serious, timely, hot tips on how you can increase your sales right now at the very end of the year. Let's get to it. In just a little bit, cousins, I'm going to be working on this table and the stuff on the floor here. Let's talk about it real quick. Just got some odds and ends here. These are just various things that are not terribly valuable in and of themselves, and so I'm going to throw them into what they call a junk drawer lot. Junk drawer obviously is something that people have sometimes at their house where just various little knickknacks and things end up that there's not a particular place for any of them. Maybe you don't use them all that often, but several little items in here that we're just going to throw in a lot, put $10 on it on auction and see what happens. Then we got some nice little ceramic jars and stuff. I don't like to sell this stuff all that often, but I'm actually working with an individual who's paying me to sell some stuff on their behalf, and that's what you're looking at here. You got this wood-turned kind of like a vase here, another nice ceramic piece. You've got various pieces of this looks like Wedgwood stuff. You can see it says made in England. That's a very nice piece right here. Then we've got these flutes. These are Waterford champagne flutes. We've got a set of 8. The last set of 8 sold on eBay for about $300. You can see it says Waterford there on the bottom, that etching. Anytime you see etched glass whether that be plates, bowls, saucers, cream, jars, or, anything like that, and or gravy bowls or this and that, and definitely glassware. Look in the bottom, because oftentimes you'll have etched names of the manufacturer, things like that. If they are marked, they'll be on the bottom. And we got some, looks like some Goebel or Hummel related items here. The Goebel company, Hummels. These are called Hummel figurines. Some can go for quite a bit of money. Others not so much. You just have to look up the specific ones. Collectors are very, very particular and picky about this stuff. They don't want there to be any damage at all. They don't want there to be anything rubbed off. Even if it's a very well done, let's say, repair or something, they're not gonna want it oftentimes. And you can see this particular piece has missing something. That thing just fell off. So these things, some of these are not complete, but we can send those in a lot. Maybe we'll sell them individually. I'll look them up. But then we got these beautiful hand painted, glazed, and I guess these are just figurines. There's 2 of them, so it's almost like they're bookends. But this is the Andrea by Sadek. Is the brand. I'm not familiar with that, but we're gonna check those out as well. I've seen a few that have sold for $100 or more. That's not too bad. I'm gonna show you some items that just this week we have sorted, photographed, and put up for sale. Here are some stick pins. They are not made of gold, but they are interesting and vintage. You can see this one looks like a hammer, and some other interesting things. Several different types of watches in here. There's a Tommy Hilfiger watch. That's not all that old. Here's a strand of costume pearls, faux pearls, but this is the Trifari brand, so it's a pretty good brand. Those will sell pretty well. Some other nice watches. Here's a bunch of just like random kind of vintage watches that are going to go together in a sale. Here's an old Criterion one that's definitely like a sort of a 1980s, late 70s to 80s look. Here's a nice old pocket watch, and it's got some, or not pocket watch, a pocket knife rather. Got some branding on it. The Oxford Chemical Company from Atlanta, Georgia. Big old pocket knife. People collect knives, of course, as you know, but especially ones that have certain branding on them can also sell for quite a bit. Here's another very nice lot of watches, and every one of these is gold filled. That means it has a small layer of gold, solid gold on the outside of it. On some of them have it on both the bracelet portion, the wrist band portion, and some on the bezels as well. Moving through here, lots of these, got a lot of knives and a lot of watches in this. I really like this piece. It's an old Victorian kind of pin that hangs down, and it's got a very beautiful kind of Cabochon carnelian in that. This is like a gold over a sterling silver look on that. What else do we have in here, folks? Just gobs of stuff. Here's some coral. We got a nice gold-filled bracelet that has different types of stones that are carved like scarabs. That was during a period of time when people were fascinated with Egypt and the Egyptian kind of style. A lot of things were made at that time. Here's a beautiful gold-filled pocket knife with a nice chain on it. Probably not original. I bet that was made for a pocket watch originally, but hey, you know, it's here now, so why not sell them together? Beautiful cuff bracelet. So anyways, gobs of fun stuff in this particular lot. And then if I take you down here, we'll get into this. Down here, folks, we have, I would say, 3, maybe almost 4 different types and styles of Lenox brand. Table setting type stuff, different bowls and saucers and cups and plates and things. Here's a candlestick pair. Here is almost like a miniature cake stand or something like that. This beautiful kind of mint green color. And as you look over here, we're going to pull these up. This is called Beltane, Beltane green Lenox items here, and this is a very rare. They discontinued this. They're not producing this anymore. This is essentially in mint condition. Beautiful. I don't even know if they've ever been actually used. We've got a bunch of the little saucers here. These are almost like little soup related bowls. These are like little cups and saucers. We've got medium-sized plates. We've got large plates. Moving over, the same here. But so you can see we've got 2 different, it's the same color green and same pattern, but a different style. So we got the light with the green on the outside, and then you've got the full green with the cream around. And then moving on, we've got some of these here, which are kind of like gold leaf edging. This is actually a silver edged bowls here, but if we move over, you'll see little gravy bowls, things like this, that are actually painted with gold trim on the edge. As you can see, these are really good condition because they haven't been worn off or anything. Here's another one that's in the shape of like a bird, very beautiful. Here's another silver one, a little butter holder, but that silver on the beautiful on the edge has not worn off or tarnished. Really nice. And then a great cake platter with a bunch of these little saucers we have on there. Some of these sets, folks, can sell for hundreds of dollars, no joke. So if you have any Lenox stuff, especially if it's in good condition, you should definitely take a look on eBay and see what they're selling for. Pull this puppy up, and already you see some really old school kind of, again, some carnelian here, some old school necklaces and such. Here's some some push pins and some stuff for ties and various things. These are gold filled. They've also got jewels back in the time when people would get these as gifts for years of service at a company, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years at a company. And the quality of it, the gold content, and often the quality of the gemstones increases as they've been there longer. It's showing them that you're even more and more valuable to them. You can see the light. Do you see the light where my thumb's at going through that stone? It's open in the back. It's blue. It's saturated. It's an actual sapphire. It's not just glass. And so that little lot's going to go out here soon. Here's just some singles, very antique cufflinks, but I didn't have both of them, so I'm going to sell them in a lot. People will do arts and crafts things with these sometimes. Individuals, they don't need to have the entire thing. Here's a cool necklace. I don't really know. It's a variety of types of stones, but it's carved. These big bees are carved very interestingly, and you can see this one has got a man's face carved into that. An Asian, you know, kind of like an older Asian man, it looks like. Variety of other things in here. Here's just a bunch of kind of loose earrings. Okay, not gold filled, just costume jewelry. Here's some gold filled rings that I'm going to sell those in a lot. Got some black coral here. The pendant has like kind of this cool looking thing with sterling silver caps as we're rolling through. Here's a bunch of military pins, or buttons rather, that would go on like a military uniform or an outfit. More gold filled jewelry, some pins, brooches and such. Beautiful. That's almost got like a Black Hills gold kind of look to it. Nice stuff. And just the more we go through here, different things. Here's a pin from Delta Wings. Sometimes those were made for pilots. Sometimes those were made as giveaways for kids. Just like a cool little, hey, thanks for flying with us kind of thing. Here's a nice 10 karat gold and black onyx ring. We've got some jade or jadeite stone type carved figurines in here. Some more, another lot of push pins. People still collect these, folks, believe it or not. Here's a watch, a Matheny Tissot watch, no band, but somebody will find that and you know, work on it, put a battery in it, get it up and working again. What other goodies do we have in here, folks? Some kind of ceramic beads with some sort of writing on them, characters, maybe words. I'm not familiar enough with that language, whatever that language is, to know, but here's a really cool Art Nouveau lot of items. If I can get out of the doggone dark. Look at that, the silhouette of a person. HNS, I don't know what that is, but look at this. Woman with the flowing hair. Very Art Nouveau style. Beautiful, if you ask me. I really love the Art Nouveau style. You know, it comes across as, I think people describe it as very feminine, and I guess maybe that's true. It's very curvy and things, but that doesn't bother me at all. I think it's beautiful. What else do we have here? Here's some sterling silver with some Black Hills gold there on it. There's a very interesting, I think that this, I don't know what country this came from, but it's definitely not in the United States. This is a silver, some sort of it may be 800 silver instead of 925 silver. I can't remember. That means 800 out of 1,000 parts are made of silver versus sterling silver, which is 925 parts out of 1,000. Here's some cufflinks that are fur. I don't know who's rocking around, you know, with these fur cufflinks anymore. But you know, there are definitely statement pieces. More cufflinks, a variety of cool pieces in here, folks. I cannot wait. Here's a nice gold. I believe this is a 10 karat gold Lord Elgin. No, this is 14 karat gold. Filled. So again, 14 karat gold is the carat purity, and it's filled, so it's just a thin layer on the outside of it. The inside is just some other alloy for giving it strength. All right, it's time for a game that we like to call here at the warehouse This or That.
Welcome back, How to Rusty How to, how you do, this or that. It's a game, Rusty How to. It's gonna be so much fun.
Man, that is a catchy tune, This or That. Let's play a game, folks, shall we? Let's start off with this grouping. You tell us, is this more valuable or is that more valuable? Which is more valuable? This antique camera by the Kodak company. Is this number 3A Kodak Junior more valuable, or what about these down here? This is a pair of cufflinks with a stone in them. What do you think? What's more valuable? This right here or that right there? Well, folks, although this is an awesome looking really cool piece of history with these gigantic bellows. This awesome Kodak camera is really cool, but they really only sell for anywhere between $40 and $60 on eBay, this particular model. Now, certain ones of certain eras, definitely do your research, because some of these can sell for gobs and gobs of money, but not this particular one. In this case, these are going to be more valuable. And part of the reason is that they are made of solid gold. Right here, you can kind of see that marking. It says 14K. These are 14 karat solid gold cufflinks. And this stone, though it's purple and looks just like an amethyst, is actually alexandrite, which is a much more precious stone. Even synthetic alexandrite per carat is quite a bit more valuable than several other stones. There's not a whole lot of these like this. The only other pair that's currently for sale that I can find are listed for $2,500. That doesn't mean that's what they'll sell for, but they are listed for quite a bit of money. So these are worth at least $1,000, if not more. Only about $45 here. Next up, we've got a Donald Duck watch. You can see here by the Ingersoll Company. There he is, old Donald, wristwatch with the little band. This is a vintage piece in its original box. Originally, was marked down from $65, now $32.99. Or this pocket knife. What do you think? It's a vintage pocket knife with 3 blades, or this watch. What's more valuable, this or that? Well, folks, if you were to say the pocket knife here, which does happen to be a case knife, you unfortunately would be incorrect. What, you say? Case knives are actually pretty valuable as far as pocket knives go because they're quite collectible. You want to look at the bottom of the blade there. This one says Case XX. On the other side, it's going to give you the serial number to look it up. This particular one is the 6318 HP. These sell for anywhere from $30 to $45 on eBay. However, this old watch, even though it just says it's worth $32.99 for when it's sold, actually sells for over $100 in this box. So twice as much as this, if not more. So always do your research. Just because something looks like it might not be worth that much doesn't mean it isn't. And in this case, you probably, most of the time, would be correct to guess that a case pocket knife would be worth more than a watch of an old Disney character. But in this case, this is much more valuable. All right, round 3, we have here a vintage Polaroid camera, the Polaroid Color Pack 2. It is a little bit dirty with dust, but it is functional. It still works. So the Polaroid Color Pack 2, or what's in my hand, and I will show you real fast, show you again. Is this little thing in my hand that's smaller than a penny more valuable, or the Polaroid Color Pack 2? Well, folks, if you guessed this little thing, you were correct. This is a blaster from a vintage Star Wars action figure, Han Solo and Hoth, and the Ice Planet. Again, these sell all day long for $30 on eBay, this tiny little piece of plastic. Whereas in the last 30 days, one of these fully functional Polaroid color packs sold for $12.67. Now, they have sold as much as $30 as well, but these are highly collectible and very difficult to find because, out there in the world of the junkyards and stuff, there are tons of old vacuum cleaner bags full of these things because mom, grandma, aunt and uncle, whoever it was vacuuming up, were sucking up all of these little small accessories and weapons from these vintage Star Wars characters, and they're highly collectible to this day. So if you ever come across vintage Star Wars action figure accessories and weapons, folks, they are more valuable than gold by weight. Last one, cousins, we've got this little lot right here. Bases loaded, Jack Nicklaus, golf, Turtles 2, the arcade game, and Double Dribble. Folks, a bunch of these original NES Nintendo cartridge games from the 1980s and 90s. Or this lamp, as you can see right here, kind of gold tone. It folds over, it functions. What's more valuable, this lamp right here, or that little lot of NES games? Well, in this particular case, folks, the lamp is quite a bit more valuable than these games. These games sell, these particular ones, anywhere from $8 to $15 a piece. In a lot like this, I could probably sell this lot for between $30 to $40 on a good day. Whereas this lamp right here will sell anywhere from $100 to $150. It's a vintage lamp. It's what they call a banker's lamp. It has this green shade on it. Not all of them have green shades, but they all have this general shape. They have a stand. They come up, they curve over, and this is what bankers, I guess, used to use on their desks back in the day, maybe even still. Now, just because this lamp is more valuable than these games doesn't mean these games cannot be valuable. If you ever find there are certain ones that are quite rare, not many of them are made, and if you can find them in pristine condition, in their original packaging, folks, they can sell for multiples of thousands of dollars, no joke. But keep a lookout here for these banker's lamps. I come across about half a dozen a year, and I'm usually able to get at least $100 a piece for them. Someone has recently asked on the channel, do you guys ever reveal what you sell and how much you sell it for? Well, sure we have. It's been a smoking hot second since we done it, so I figured why not drop some of this stuff in here right now so you can see exactly what we're looking at here. So let me get started. I'm going to roll over onto these glasses right here, and we're starting off. You can see this set of vintage spectacles with a little attachment of like a sunglass portion. These are gold filled. Sold for $143.20. That was a very, very nice sale. Right here we have a vintage 14 karat gold, sterling silver floral earrings. So the floral portion there are gold. On the top are miniature diamonds, millies. They're little tiny 0.1 or less carat, and sterling silver, $128. Moving right along, we have something from the Franklin Mint. They did a variety of different types of items, commemorative things and whatnot. This was just a pocket watch. It had the tag on it still, and it was a Robert E. Lee kind of issue. As you can see, it was from it was like a keepsake type thing from a gift shop. $36 right on that one. Now this was cool, folks. Look at this. The Honeywell Aquastat. This is Honeywell Heating Specialties from Wabash, Indiana. Vintage, early 1900s, maybe even late 1800s gauge here for like a thermostat type gauge. I put this up and it sold in one day for $64. It didn't even work. It's just old and rusty. Here's a small lot of cameo related stuff. None of this is vintage. It's newer. It's costume jewelry, but it's got that cameo look to it. We got a variety of different pieces in here. That thing sold with 8 bids for $20.50. Stepping up here to the plate is a vintage, and it said 1912 on it, but it's an old school lighter, when you can kind of pull out and kind of fill it up with fluid. And this was, I think, like a World War I era lighter that people would use. 2 bids, $23.49. Now we got this one right here. It's a little lot of vintage 1977 to 1983 Star Wars action figures, and you got Jabba the Hutt up there and a Tauntaun from or it was on the ice planet Hoth in Empire Strikes Back. That one, several bids, $96. Moving right along, this was a beautiful, this was really on the line of costume versus fine jewelry. It is a brooch, but it is much nicer than your average piece. You can see down here how it opens up. It's kind of like a brooch pin. It's a designer piece by Nettie Rosenstein. But what's awesome about it is sterling silver with a gold overlay. It's enamel painted, and every one of these little gemstones here is a genuine emerald that has been set with like a bevel set around that. Beautiful piece. I think I paid $40 for it, and I sold it for $100. But the great thing about this piece is that this is the piece that I purchased at a local thrift store. And by paying for that and having that conversation, that's what led to me purchasing the large, gigantic lot of antiques that I have that I still have to go through. So I was very happy to sell that. Also very happy to make that relationship. And we've got a relationship moving forward that I'm excited to tell you about, but that will come in a different video. Next up here we have a men's Fossil watch. It's a chronograph with a blue face. I didn't put a new battery in it. It works well, it just needs a new battery. $20.50. Starting back here, folks, vintage 10 karat gold, solid gold, white gold watch, women's Hamilton watch, a 3-bid, $61. You can see what this watch looked like. Very old, not really in style anymore, but it does have diamonds. It is made of gold, and people who collect those or like to work on them are definitely going to be interested in that kind of thing. Here's a very old set of earrings. This is gold, and it's got little, what they call angel skin coral, little, carved pieces. It's coral. Pink, $40. Had the 1 bid there on that one. Now, this was really exciting to me. This came in through my thrift store. This was a part of that lot. I was really excited to see that this traveling kind of case, a Hermes brand rocket, a Hermes rocket typewriter, quite valuable. I stuck it on. I think it sold within 3 days, $150. It's in good condition. So even old typewriters, folks, have value. This was exciting too as well. I got a bunch of items that were just stored in this container from this giant lot, and when I looked at it, it turned out that it was a vintage Remington ammo crate, and it had the really cool advertising for that on both sides. I put this up, had a lot of interest right off, took about a week, but it sold for $200 for just the box, just the container. Folks, if you don't know it, vintage boxes or containers, especially if they have advertising or branding on them, can bring really big bucks. This was a part of several pieces that I had, vintage patches and various awards and medals that were military oriented. This is from World War II. It was a Bronze Star. It was a medal. It came in the little case. $100 for that. Now, you might think, who would ever want to buy someone else's class ring with their name on it from a different time? It's not even vintage. This one's from 1992, but you know what? It's made out of sterling silver, and that's why. It's really cool. It's got a person's name on it. It's Adrian, all right? Adrian, he played football, it looks like. He also played, I think basketball was on the other side. This little stone in it, $42. I had 8 bids on that puppy. This is an example of how I'll take some costume pieces, instead of going individually to sell them faster, I'll group them in like groups. So this is all quote-unquote animals. You can see various types here. We got butterflies, we got spiders, we got birds, little bees, various things, zebras, wild cats, roosters and whatnot. $99 for that lot. It took me about 4 days to sell that. Here was one on auction. This is vintage jewelry. It's all, again, it's coral. It's not angel skin coral. It's more of the darker red color, but this is kind of, I don't know, not exactly Southwest, but all kind of different styles honestly represented here. But we had several pieces, necklaces, earrings, rings, and such. $71 with 6 bids. And last up today, this was a lot of just sort of like little pins. They were gold filled. They had some precious, semi-precious stones in them, and they were not marked as gold, but I did a scratch test to find out. So if there's ever something that you think might be made of gold, definitely get yourself a testing kit so you can scratch on a little plate and put some chemical on it and determine whether or not that acid eats it or not, and that will tell you the purity. Or you can take it to a local jewelry shop, places like that. Sometimes they won't do it unless you're already thinking about selling it to them. Sometimes they're nice and they'll just do it for you anyways. The bigger places will have equipment that they can put it in and do like a test on it that way. Other places will have to just do the scratch test, so you might as well get something for yourself to do at home.
Rusty's Hot Tips!
It is time for those hot tips that I promised you. Let's get into tip number 1 here. Ways that you can increase sales in December, the very end here of the year, and get that extra money in. Number 1, what you want to do is you want to go in. You can either delist your items out of eBay, or you can leave them in, but you go to a section with a button called promotions. You go in there and you set up a promotion for your store for a discounted percentage off. You can do it for all items or specific items. So what old Rusty did, here's the perfect example. At the very end of November, it was a terrible sales, a couple of weeks, just really, really slow before we got the amp up for Christmas spending. And so what I did was I delisted everything in my eBay store. I jacked up the price 20 to 25% on every single item. Then I went into the promotion section and I set up a global 20% off holiday discount promotion for the store. So basically what I've done is, I know I'm going to be selling this stuff for 20% off, but I don't want to really sell it for less than I have it in the store. That's why I raise the price first. You raise it, then you put in a discount. It does not matter, folks, as much if a person is actually getting a major discount, as much as it matters that they believe that they're getting a discount. They believe that they're getting a deal. Now, this is nothing shady. This is nothing new or different. This is what Black Friday and all those things are all about. They jack up the prices. They offer these supposedly huge discounts, and people go hog wild buying stuff. So I did this last week on, and simultaneously, after putting in that promotion, I ran a bunch of items on auction. They were all ending in 3 consecutive days, a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, the weekend when people are more available to watch those listings. And I had 30 sales. I mean, I went 2 weeks and only did about $400 or $500 in sales. That's really bad for our store. And in 3 days, I got 30 sales, and I'm still getting the price that I wanted on those items. So consider putting some sort of big discount on your items in a promotional sale store-wide. In the descriptions of all of your items, make sure to put a note. Hey, we got this huge Christmas sale going on right now. If you don't like this, or if you're interested in our items, check out our store. There's awesome auctions happening right now. That's it. So every single person who looks at an item, if they look at the description, is going to hear that you have other things discounted as well. And then they might peruse that store. Number 2. Folks, this one's a little silly, but hear me out on this. It has worked for us. Go into the items that you would be interested in doing the following 2. Delist them from your store. Then go to your ended items. You can see them. Select all those and hit the button that says Sell Similar. What this does is it copies that particular item and it makes a complete new one with a new number associated with it. So whenever you relist it, it's going to go to the top of the pile. It's like a fresh new item. But before you click to list them again, go in to, you're doing a bulk thing. You can do up to 200 at a time. On the left-hand side, as you're doing this, you can scroll through and you can see all the different things that you can globally change to all these listings. You can do things one at a time, but you can also do them all at once. So I'm suggesting go to all of them. You can go down to the area where you can adjust things with the description of the item and or the titles, and put the word or the phrase Christmas or Christmas gift into the description and or the titles. Just add it in. Folks, people right now are shopping primarily for Christmas gifts. It's the end of the season. You would be surprised at something that wouldn't go on someone's radar. If you write in Christmas gift, they might look at it and think, oh, I mean, I could get this as a Christmas gift. Old, Fred or Aunt Josie or whoever else might love this. I didn't even think about it. We have had things that have sat in the store for a year, 2 years, sell within a week, simply because we relisted it at the same price and wrote Christmas gift, ! In the title. Try it out. It doesn't hurt anything. You can always go back, delist it, and remove that globally if you want to later. Number, trace. Or trois, if you're of French orientation. What you want to do on this one, folks, is sounds like common sense. It's a no-brainer. If you're able to do it, folks, if you want to blow out some sales here at the end of the year, go in and drop your prices. You could drop your prices across the board. You could just drop a handful of them significantly and get a little bit of interest, and then write in the description again, hey, we got lots of things in our store right now that are selling at discounted prices. Please come check them out. Just drop your prices. You'll make less, but if you make a higher volume of sales, then it's going to make up for that. Number 4, hot tip from Rusty, is take a handful of items that are not all that valuable to begin with, but you really want to push them out of the store, and run those puppies at a 1 cent or a 99-cent auction. Make sure that your price for your shipping is either calculated or you put in a price that you know you cannot lose money on the shipping. Are you going to make much money on those items? No, probably not, but that's not the point. The point of doing this is to get people to see your store. If you have a handful of items selling for a cent or 99 cents and a person's like, man, I can get some deals from this person, it prompts them then to do two things. Number one is initially they'll go to your store and check out the rest of your things. That's great. Number two is you're probably going to get a few people who start to quote unquote follow your store. And that helps to have viewers for things in the future. So it can help both to get some stuff out that you want out, frees up space. You do make a little bit of money, but it's almost more of a marketing gag where you're trying to promote your store to people and say, hey, we got good prices here. Check out everything else. Folks, thanks so much for sticking around. I hope some of those tips will help you out. Maybe you saw something here today that you think you already have, you could sell and make some money on it. Maybe it just educated you on new topics so that the next time you're out looking around, you'll know of some things to take a look at. Take care, folks. Hopefully this is a good month for you. We'll see you soon.
Beat-o, bo, bo, let's go make some money. Rusty, Rusty, Rusty